Do you guys have any idea how you guys want to meet up today? Are you guys meeting up today? Have you just decided, well, we've done enough? Like what is your next course of action?
I would just text in the group chat saying breakfast to someone else? Question mark?
You guys actually ended today fairly early, last game session, to my knowledge.
Because I needed to spend all that time asleep. Thank you.
So you are actually moving to the next day?
Yes.
Okay.
Unless you guys want to continue at night. If you guys want to continue from last night, we can. But even Seth was like, it might be a good idea for you guys to get some rest.
Yeah, we'll start off with the next
If we're going to
day,
continue that night, somebody is going to have to really do something to pull me out of bed, because no.
Did I say last session to... What was the freaking vampire? I always forget his name.
Mason?
Mason.
What about it?
That I wanted to talk with Billy Smith. I don't think I did. Did
I don't think you did.
Yeah.
You also have no reason to believe that Billy Smith is a vampire.
Right. Yeah, no. So wake up and text the group chat saying breakfast at Sunny Mugs. I don't even say Sunny Mugs, just put a sun in a coffee mug.
I mean, there's no reason not to.
Question mark?
What o'clock is that text going out at?
Probably like close to noon.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so close to noon, you guys get group text about whether or not you guys want to get breakfast at Sunnybucks.
Sure.
Should we just move an office to there?
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
Upstairs.
I mean, they tend to give you the food that you want without that big of an issue.
as long as we pay.
And that big ass tip every single time. If somebody answers or not, I'm getting on my bike and heading there.
All right, so you guys are all heading to Sunny Mugs again.
I don't think Paul's done yoga a day in his life.
I think if we get around to doing Werewolf again, I'm going to just start the game at Sunny Mugs. All right.
Yeah, why not?
So let's go ahead and say, how long does it take everybody to get ready? Like an hour to get dressed, get ready, and go there?
Oh, Phil already left.
Okay. So like 12:30, you guys get there then?
Jump in the shower, take a shower, get dressed.
So around 12:30, you guys can all arrive.
Get there, sit down in our usual booth.
Okay.
Wherever it comes.
I'm just
in.
gonna say that you guys have sat there so much, it just gives off an eerie vibe to people. Nobody wants to sit there, so that's just your booth.
It's our territory
It's
now.
just your booth now.
Just order a breakfast skillet with
Okay.
2 extra.
That
eggs.
same waitress, Mercy, comes up. She takes down your order.
Breakfast skillet, 2 extra eggs, make them scrambled.
Sounds good.
Same.
Same.
Do you have mimosas?
Mimosas.
Is that a little early?
We do in fact.
Why
have-
did you become a private eye?
Oh, that's true.
Yes, actually, I can make
Bench
a
drink?
mimosa. It's not going to be traditional, but I can make you a mimosa.
Outstanding. I think I want to be on a 1-to-1 ratio of mimosas to eggs today, and I would like 3 eggs.
3 mimosas.
Thank you.
And an egg. Do you want me to bring you
The bottles.
like a pitcher of mimosa?
That might be easier for you.
Yes.
Well, you're asking for 3 mimosas, and typically there are about 4 glasses of wine, or 4 glasses of wine in a bottle. That's if you're conservatively serving. Then you want me to add orange juice to it, so that'll about fill up a pitcher, maybe a little bit less than a full pitcher.
And 1 to share. Yes.
Okay, cool. Is your keto friend joining you?
We did
I'm not
text.
sure.
All right. Well, if he gets here, I'll bring your food.
Yeah.
And she turns and heads on out.
So,
So,
what's the sitch?
alright, so we've got a secondary list with potentially new victims on that list.
Fun.
So I think we really should try to go through that list, find those people.
And Mason get you back at you with the addresses?
Well, Mason is indisposed right
It's a
now.
whole new
We're in the
list.
night. I don't know. He could have texted you or emailed you for all I know.
If he's used to emailing you and stuff, you will have an email
Yeah.
with the information that you asked for.
Oh, okay.
He is a contact. He will get you what he can. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
It's really helpful to have a police contact with Dominate.
Lord,
Oh, yeah.
what can't he get you?
So I'm going to pull up my email, see what I got.
You pretty much just asked for like background checks
And
on people and
Telephone
addresses and stuff like that.
addresses.
And you're going to get pretty much the information that they have on all of the people that are on that list. So if you want to ask, you shall receive. The first person on the list that's name isn't crossed off is Birgit Vangelder. She has been a member of the Horticulture Club for probably about 10 years, predating Mueller, like big time. In fact, a lot of the people who were in that on that list predated Mueller in the club, and Vangelder and pretty much everybody on the list, including the two people that were crossed off, all quit within the last 6 months. And Vangelder and a couple of the other people whose names you have started a new club. They're called the Portland Potheads. Vangelder is...
Don't we have enough of those in Portland?
Vangelder is 55 years old. She's not married. And she's a senior manager at a publishing company in town. Aside from being the chairman of the Portland Potheads, which is yet again another horticulture club.
All right. So
they quit the horticulture club.
You're gonna have a second email that came in probably about 15 minutes after that one, and it just says, "I did some snooping," and Madeline Wilson and Anad Prashash, the two people that you have crossed off on the list, they're not with us anymore.
okay. We're going to respond back. Thank you for your work. We'll fill you in on what we find out during the day.
So these people quit the club, started their own club.
Blackjack and hookers. Sorry.
In fact, forget the blackjack.
Two of them are dead. I think they're in danger. Basically, Mueller's keeping a list of them. So far, I don't think we have much reason to think he's up to anything good.
Can I get a wits and awareness check from everybody in the... Everybody in the booth?
Yay. So Tony check. First Tony check of the day.
Yeah.
Does that mean I immediately shift form or
Start
something?
your day off PST way
4, and one of them is a crit.
with wits checks. It's awareness and bowl. Okay.
4 and it's a crit.
2?
2.
4.
Okay, you two 4. You two both have 4. Phil and Dominic?
Mm-hmm.
Phil and Dominic, you guys are just, you happen to be facing the front, which is why you catch it. You're facing away. So you hear the door open, but the door opens in this place like a billion times a minute.
Mm-hmm.
But Hannah walks in, and she kind of like looks around and completely just like bypasses the waitress and just walks on over to you guys. Hey,
How you holding
She-
up?
I'm better. I'm better. Now that I know I'm not crazy, I'm better.
How much are you cut up to?
How much am I caught up to? I'm pretty sure there's a lot more for me to understand, but I at least get what's going on. So,
Can we get you a coffee? He's got mimosas coming. I'm serious.
she like checks her watch.
It's part of their job.
You guys bartenders?
PIs. Apparently,
Mercy comes
PIs and
back.
alcoholism seems to go hand in hand.
Oh, coffee, orange juice, glass of ice water. If you have any cranberry juice, that'd be great too. And biggest breakfast you got, all the extra bacon, extra sausage, extra ham. Thank you. And and she's like, okay. Oh, and pie, slice of pie. What kind? I don't care.
Pie.
Pie flavored pie. There is a crust pie. It's just all the different types of crust.
I would eat the hell out of that, actually.
It's like eating
Cookie
cookies.
dough.
It's just like eating cookies.
Burrito.
I personally like to pour milk in it and go at it with a spoon once it's soaked up.
I know.
All right, so
Cute.
So we were discussing a few emails that our compatriot here got.
Alright, so I guess they kind of filled you in on part of what we were investigating.
Seth said that Mueller was something called a formor. That it's not exactly human, but it's not like us.
Right, you haven't seen the video yet, or the.
Don't ruin her
stuff.
breakfast.
I'm going to allow you to keep your
Possible.
breakfast.
So hungry.
Challenge accepted. I'm going to open up the video and hit
Mercy
play.
comes back and starts handing everybody their drinks. She puts a pitcher of like this like bubbly orange juice down in front of you, and it is definitely not made out of champagne. It is just made out of a sparkling white wine, but it is close enough to do its bit. And then she puts all 4 glasses in front of Hannah that Hannah asked for: coffee, water, orange juice, cranberry juice.
So yeah, after she said, I don't think it can, I said challenge accepted, and I hit play on the video.
Okay, is it the house?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, it gets worse.
That's disgusting.
This
Is that what I think it is on the walls?
Yes.
I'm good.
Well, anyways, he's got.
Look, I used to help my mom clean houses, so
The man's got a second list of possible victims.
Okay.
2 of them's already been scratched out. We need
And
to
no
find
longer with us.
like scratched out as in scratched out, scratched out.
Yeah.
Your name was in the bottom of the list.
Yay!
I've been working with a cop, Mason. He's he's not human.
Okay.
Very low voice, but he's not one of us either.
Okay, so is he like Mueller?
They call themselves kindred.
Like those creepy white supremacist guys?
No.
I like that all 3 of us are making the little tooth gestures.
So
in our
she
own
looks
way.
around at all of you doing your own little impersonation of vampire fangs.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
So are these like burst into flames in the sun or sparkle like diamonds in the sun?
I'm
Man?
pretty sure
Burst
it's a
in-
person flame.
Burst into flames. Whoever created that thing needs to
That's
check
how.
it.
Yeah.
Well, what if it was just written by one of them and they're trying to dispel rumors and make it... Like, have you ever seen the movie? Have you ever read Roald Dahl's Witches? Like the guy who wrote James and the Giant Peach and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, he also wrote a book called Witches. They made a really cute movie about it, like in the 80s, and I think they just made it. They just remade it, like a couple of years ago, and I think Anne Hathaway played. Anyway, so in Witches, it talks about how like there's all these rumors about witches, like they can't wear pretty shoes because they don't have any toes. Witches don't float; they sink. That kind of stuff. Like all that was made up by witches to prove that they weren't witches. Like that's the whole point of those things. Like witches don't have any hair, so they have to wear wigs, and they're always itching because the wigs always make their heads itch. They eat children, that kind of stuff.
But anyways,
Big book readers, gotcha.
He's digging into what information he can. It's rather useful to have access to a police database.
Okay, so you have a vampire in your pocket.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Apparently they're deadly terrified of us.
I mean, have you seen what we can do?
Fair point.
We should start some. Werewolves can't handle cash. Werewolves can't eat bacon. Basically, anything that.
You get to throw money and bacon at us?
Well, I mean, there are stories
Do you see a
about
downside?
that. Like,
No,
have you ever seen any
actually.
of the Lon Chaney movies? Werewolves grow like hair in the pits of their hand,
Yeah.
or like they have like.
That sounds uncomfortable as hell.
I remember,
Well, it's like how dogs have hair in the middle of their pads. It's the same thing.
I thought you got that from.
Yeah. I'm just saying. I'm pretty sure there are legends like that. Like
Well, that
I haven't,
back in the
I haven't changed during the full moon.
well, back in the Dark Ages, having hair on their palms was considered a sign of the devil, and thus you were bewitched.
Actually, that's kind of true. Just depends on the moon that you shift it on.
Well, the fact that we're connected to the moon, duh. But like, anyway, Mercy starts coming over with.
The food.
She's got it's her and another guy carrying the trays over, and they put out the little tray stand, and they start doling out everybody's food.
I'm remembering that last session I was getting suspicious of our waitress, and I ran.
And it's the same waitress.
Yeah, and I ran Sense the True Form, but I don't remember what my result was.
You got
Yeah,
that she
she
was
was
not
supernatural.
normal.
Not
you
normal,
could not
but
quite
not
pin
sure
it.
what.
And then you also asked Mason what he thought, and he looked at you and said, "Do you think like we're the only things out there?" And then said, "Most of us are just trying to live our lives.
Blend
We just
in.
happen to not be you."
All I can think of from that was freaking Kali from American Gods.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, they set down all the food and they say enjoy, and yeah, so she's sitting over here with like this steak and eggs platter with like home fries and like extra bacon, extra sausage, extra ham, and, like a stack of pancakes and just a thing of pie. And basically, she ordered the most expensive breakfast and some pie.
So I'm gonna take a picture of the food. I'm gonna text that
Rude?
the food,
Yeah, she looks at you. She's like rude as she's shoving something in her mouth.
and then I'm gonna tag Seth in our group.
I think she got
Are you
she's
coming?
got you beat on the size, brother.
Oh, unless you say it, she's not going to say anything. So, all right. So, what's up now? What's the whole?
Alright, so-
I'm guessing after breakfast, go check out first name of the list. Let's not cross out.
Bridget?
Yeah.
She's a nice old lady.
Well, we want to make sure she's not going to be a nice old and dead lady,
True.
Apparently, she opened up a new
and
club.
preferably keep her that way, even if it means I don't know, put her in a hotel room or letting her stay at one of our offices. Or
Yeah,
something.
very true. Yeah, no, she did. I was actually thinking that, like, after we were done with Cops West, I was actually considering dropping out of the Horticulture Club and joining the Potheads, just because, like, at least they're still doing stuff and they don't have to deal with Mueller.
How do you guys
Speaking of dealing with Mueller,
Huh?
speaking of dealing with Mueller, segueing here, we can go see these people. I think the point of that is to try and find Mueller, or at least to try and keep these people safe from Mueller. But unless we want that to be a lifetime job, we're going to have to do something about Mueller.
Well, you have a picture of the list, right?
Yeah.
Can you send it to me, and she'll tell you her phone number?
Yeah, I'll send it over.
Okay, so Madeline and Andy are crossed out.
So you contact these
Morrison's
people
is
on a
the
regular
one.
basis.
Yeah, these are my friends.
So,
But Bridget's the last person on the list.
is there
Or
any way we
Bridget's the
can-
next person on the list.
Is there any way we could just get all of them in a group message to meet you somewhere, and we could just?
I don't really have their contact information. Like, okay, Rickard freaked out and ripped up the phone tree.
All right. So here's what I got from my contact, and he's gonna flip his screen around and show you the contact information from police records and
Okay.
stuff. Anything you have that can help us reach out to these people.
Well, Bridget's the first person on the list that isn't crossed off. She's probably the next target.
That probably stands to reason.
So
does.
we should probably go check on her first. I mean, if you guys want, you guys go check on her, and I can start working down the rest of the list that hasn't been touched yet. I mean, hopefully you don't find just a mess in Bridget's house. But I've had coffee with her. At least I know where she is. I can give you guys the address.
What's going to be the plan? Who's going where?
That's step one of planning. Step two, if we go to this, if we choose a place and we go there, what if we do encounter Bueller?
Well, Seth said he can't be cured.
Well, if
You
we
can or can't?
Can't.
if we encounter
Okay.
a Mueller, we will have
To
We-
act accordingly.
Yeah,
Take care
that's
of
it.
them.
That's see, euphemism. Are we going to call the police and wait until they show up and take him to jail?
What are they going to do with him?
no.
That thing
He's-
is supernatural,
Exactly.
dude.
We're setting de facto we're setting out to go murder
Hunt.
someone.
We're setting out to go do Gaia's work.
We're setting out to
All
go
right,
do a murder.
so let's say we do find him.
We're stopping.
You should have a feeling about that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
saying it's not necessary.
My feeling is we're stopping 8 murders.
I'm not saying it's
least.
not necessary.
Minimum.
I'm saying
sure
that
we
we're
will.
crossing you cross a certain moral event horizon when you set out intending to kill someone in a day.
Okay,
And I
well,
think we
let's
should
see if
take-
we can.
And I think we should take a minute to let the gravity of that sit with us. And
Okay,
consider it.
how long of a minute is that? Because the longer
A
we
minute
wait,
is 60 seconds.
per minute will be spent shoving pancakes and steak into her mouth.
I don't know. This guy's already killed a bunch of people. I have no problem gunning him down if I need to.
Have you ever killed someone before?
Yes.
We are in a restaurant. I'm just going to point that out. There are people eating lunch all around you. As you're like, I have no problem killing this bastard.
I'm also a detective, and I have had to defend myself.
Okay. You still have an old lady who's looking over looking over her booth at you.
We do what we
Look,
have to.
I agree, but this isn't a murder. Mueller's dead already. This thing has already killed him.
This thing has taken over whatever was
Mueller
left.
was a dick, but he wasn't a monster. This is the thing that killed Mueller.
If anything, we'd be doing Mueller a favor.
Or, let's catch him and see if we can do anything about it. Because, Seth said he can't be cured. That doesn't mean Seth is right. People can be wrong.
I trust Seth generally.
I trust Seth.
He's been around and knows more than we do. So it's true. Maybe he's not right, but I have no reason to doubt him.
I have no reason to doubt him other than, like you said, our moral compass. So I completely agree with you. Like, we should actually stop and think about this kind of thing. But, like, can we hold on to something like Mueller?
How about this? Would you and I go check on the lady since she knows you?
Okay.
Then two can check the other addresses.
If Mueller... If Bridget is the next person that he's going after, is it really a good idea for us to split up?
No, I think we all need to stay together, especially if we come across Mueller while we're trying to stop one of his victims from,
And the
there's no telling what he might do in order to succeed in his goal.
The other thing is, I'm wondering if everybody that's on the list, he's hoping to be one of, like, kind of like us, or he's just trying to figure out if they actually are, and if they're not, just mark them out and kill them.
You think everybody on the list is like us?
It could
I
be.
don't think so.
There's such thing as late bloomers.
I figured it was about this whole traitor thing that he's doing. Because he was like, he was acting like we were all committing treason when we disagreed with him.
Yeah.
And then he was
I
always
think the
constantly
only-
like, we need to defeat the force.
I think the only connection he has with, at least with our kind, was the fact that he chose to bury them on what is essentially a holy site.
Yeah, Seth said something about the whole thing being on a Karen,
Yeah.
and that he was probably drawn to that. Apparently, like, those things are trying to, like, corrupt those sites all the time.
Yeah.
I guess we're heading to our first name then.
Okay.
Finish up breakfast
Yeah, finish up breakfast.
and get on the bike and start riding there.
Now, I'm
So at
going
what
to put...
point do you just pick up the picture and just...
Jug it down.
Did you not see?
Yeah.
Just check.
Can I get a...
Oh, drunk driving.
Can I get we're gonna do something a little different. Can I get a
I'm not drunk driving. You are.
Can I get a stamina plus composure?
3.
3? You're okay. You're okay.
Your alcoholism was
You definitely, like, you will be okay.
No, I'm kind of not okay.
I'm gonna say that you'll be okay by the time we get where we're going. But you are a little. You can definitely feel it. You're buzzed. Speaking of that, Hannah has a minivan.
Mm-hmm.
Do we all want to drive together, or do we want to split up
I
and
mean,
take
if we're
different
driving together, I'm just grabbing my knives from the back of my bike and just holster them in.
Okay.
Yeah, it's better for us to all go together.
Okay. So yeah, she knows where she's going anyway.
I'm drunk.
She knows where she is anyway. You're not going to be drunk by the time we get there. It's a good 20-minute drive to where we're getting to from where we are.
Just because I am not going to be that drunk when I get there does not mean that I am not going to lean on that, if nothing else, for a reason to be like, well,
I can't.
in my
fight,
own
I'm drunk.
mind, I'm not driving out to go kill something.
Understood. Does everybody just... Yeah. She's gonna...
Right or wrong, it's not something we should get comfortable with.
Agreed. Bridget lives in a housing community. Walled. Blah, blah, blah. Much like always, with those damn places, the security arm is up. It's just not working. And Hannah will just drive on through. And she's going to park at the end of the street. She's not going to park at the driveway. Okay, so that's her house, and she'll point like halfway down the street where you see this yard that is just like ridiculously overflowing with plants. There's actually vines climbing up the walls of this place and just trees everywhere. And she doesn't have a privacy fence. She has these massive bushes that surround her backyard. And you can see the top of a greenhouse behind the actual house itself.
Well, it sure looks like a pothead's house.
Yeah. So do we just go and knock on the door? Like,
I mean, that's how
That's
we
the
met
idea.
you.
yeah, no, you're right, I guess.
We don't have a fancy MO.
True. Okay, so... Okay. And she's gonna get out of the car. Follow her.
Here comes the werewolf welcome wagon.
That's pretty much what it is.
You get that slow motion scene with you all walking down the street and you're all standing next to each other just in the middle of the street.
And somebody just freaking takes
The van comes by. Pick up the spares.
Oh, the Savant are in town.
So you have penumbral senses.
Yes.
Okay, so as you approach the house, which is a very interesting house, there's a toilet under a tree in the front yard that's been turned into a planter. There are pots hanging from the tree on all the branches, so there's just plants inside the plants. It looks like everything in her front yard, which looks nice, is recycled in some fashion, including like the little barrier between her garden and her yard itself is made out of like tires that have been cut in half and like painted pastel colors. Like this house has like a mix of beautiful and ugly. Like it's such a nice house, but it's like also who has taste like this?
Show my guy.
And but yes, as you walk in and you spend a willpower and activate penumbral senses, that is going to be an intelligence plus wisdom roll for you. 2 successes.
Yeah.
So you're in an area with a lot of plants, obviously, like I said, and we are towards like mid-November at this point, where there are a lot of plants that like at first you would go, what the hell? But like they're just seasonally, that's what they do. There are a few that are dead, but you're also picking up this like very potent, nobody else is getting this, but this very potent dead plant smell. Like, have you ever smelled a compost heap, that sweet, that sickeningly sweet smell?
It's from rotten fruit. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're picking up something like that, and you smelt that. You smell a lot of that at the house as well.
Now that could be a couple of things. It could be an actual legitimate compost heap, which I wouldn't pass someone like this to actually have.
Absolutely.
Or there's other things that can cause that rotting smell.
Yeah.
So
This is enough to like make your nose curl.
Yeah.
Nobody else seems to be noticing it.
let's hope for the best when we get up there.
Okay.
Is there a doorbell?
Yeah, there's a doorbell. It's shaped like a daisy.
I'm literally like raising my eyebrow. I'm like, okay.
It's some. You hit the doorbell and tiptoe through the tulips rings out.
Tiny Tim, really?
Yeah. Not the voice, just the melody through the doorbell.
Okay.
Ding dong, ding da ding dong.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
And you can hear an older woman's voice yell through the glass window in the middle of the door that has this beautiful ornate rose worked into it. Where she's you just hear, right, 1 second, I'll be right there. And
Does that sound like her voice?
yeah,
I want to
no,
make
that
sure
sounds like
that she
Bridget.
sees a familiar face first. So.
Yeah, no, Hannah's right in front and center, and yeah.
Is this the sort of front porch that has like a little chintzy wrought iron bench?
No, it has a little wooden swing with chains that go up to the...
Yeah. Similar.
Yeah.
Parking my
Alright,
ass.
so before she gets out here, how much of this do we actually tell her?
I mean, I don't know.
Do we tell her her life's in danger?
The door opens, and there's an older woman standing there. Yeah, you sit down on the bench, and there's
quickly shut
at
up
first-
as she's opening it up.
At first, you go, "Oh, wow, she's a slob." Because when you sit down, you see on the windowsill next to the swing, there's just a whole bunch of discarded coffee cups. But then you realize they're filled with dirt, and some of them have little sprouts coming out of them.
Oh, yeah. She's really a slob.
At first, you're like, "Oh, she left stuff out," and oh no, she's planting things in coffee cups.
Or she left them out here for a very significant amount of time. I'm just saying.
So, yeah, there's
There's a
that-
certain
so
point
there's
where
so
this
long
wraps
since it's grown.
around and
Exactly.
goes right back.
So yeah, no, it's an older lady. She's in her mid-50s, and she goes, "Hannah," and she gives her a hug, and she's like, "Who are your friends?" And Hannah's like, "Oh, this is Dominic,
Philip.
and Philip, and Joseph, and of course, Bridget's gonna look a little off on her when she doesn't even really seem to know the names of the people that she's brought over. How can I help you?
Well, ma'am, first to get started, myself and this gentleman, we're private detectives. We're working with Portland Police Department currently.
She just looks over at Hannah and then back towards you.
Have you been watching the news lately?
I don't really watch much television.
I'm going to pull up a local newspaper. I'm sure they covered some of this, like the whole murders and
Okay.
ritual killings and stuff.
You're just looking at something
I'd
on
like
your,
you.
on your phone and stuff.
Are
I
you
would
good
like
with
you
that?
to take a look at this, and then afterwards, I'm going to tell you why.
She takes your phone and reaches down and tucked onto her, tucked on the buttons of her blouse. She has a tiny little pair of glasses that she puts on, and she's looking at from.
Did the police release any of the names yet?
No, the police have not released any of the names. There is there is a couple of persons of interest that are listed.
Mm-hmm.
One of them being Hannah, and the other one being Richard Mueller. And she's gonna look at it and look over at Hannah, and she's like, "Oh, oh." What can I do for you?
Well, be quite frank.
Hand you back your phone.
Hannah's not a suspect, so don't worry about that. The
We pretty much have reason to believe that you might be in danger.
victims, although they're not been released yet, were part of the agricultural club. They were
Horticultural club.
horticultural club. They were once part of. A rather disgruntled member is who we believe is the perpetrator.
Yeah, she looks over at Hannah and she's like, "I knew Rickard was just unhinged."
We need to get you somewhere where you cannot be found, along with the rest of the potheads. We don't want any more. We don't want any more tragedies to come out of this story.
Hannah looks over at her and says, "Can we come in for some tea?" And she just kind of like deflates, like her shoulders drop, like she drops the defensives that she had built up, and she's like, "I guess." And she takes you, like, she invites you all in. Her house is just the same as outside, except it's probably pushing like 80, 85 degrees inside this house.
Because that's how, yeah.
Old people like it.
Yeah.
And there's plants in the corner, there's plants hanging from the ceiling, she walks you into a room that has like flagstone floors. Like it looks like it is an outside area, but it's her kitchen. And her kitchen, again, is just plants freaking everywhere. Every free space, all over her counters, all over shelves. Her oven is... The door has been removed, and there's plants inside of it growing out and on top of the stove.
Okay.
And she's got a little hot plate, like, next to it, where she's got hot water on the kettle. And she just makes you tea on that.
Okay. Interesting. Do you have ways of contacting the other?
Oh yeah, I definitely have ways of contacting everybody.
I'd like to find out as much as I can also about Mueller.
No, I don't know what to tell you about him. He's just...
Other than he's obviously unhinged.
He was... I don't know. He was always overly aggressive. I was there years before he showed up. And he just came in and took control of everything and just started making us... I don't know. It became like, here's a fun little thing to do, and then it was like, you have to be here at this time, you have to do this, you have to do that. And it was too much. It was way too much. And it wasn't like anything... There was no progress being made whatsoever. There were other projects we could have been doing, smaller projects that would have actually gotten done. Like, he was just looking for... He was just looking for press. He was just looking to do a huge thing to improve his ability to get back into politics, and it's just... No, it's... I'm not there to glorify some man who needs to make himself feel better about his past follies.
He was doing it for the press.
It seemed like that to me, yes. And then, like, when I said that I was...
Follies.
When I said I was leaving and he started calling me... Actually, he called me about an hour ago. I talked to Rickard.
Did he say where he was at?
No, he didn't say where he was at. That buzzing. She goes, "Oh, let me get your tea." And she goes and starts pouring tea into cups for everybody. No,
But there might have been things in the call, even if he didn't say that.
Well,
might
he asked
be
if he
useful
could come and talk to
finding
me.
out. Did you hear anything in the background? Cars, animals, machine noises, echoing.
No, I didn't hear anything. He wanted to come over and just he said he just wanted to, like, smooth things over.
Would you mind letting me have his number, please?
Mueller's number?
Yes.
Sure. And she'll walk over to a highly out-of-date phone that's on the wall, and she'll start, like, pushing the little gray button that's on her caller ID.
Oh, Lord.
Did he actually come over to smooth things over?
That's what he said. He said he wanted to come over and smooth things over.
But he actually made it.
I told him, no, he didn't come over. I told him I didn't have anything to say to him, and I hung up on him. And she'll write down on a little, like, piece of paper, rip it off, and give it to you. You think he's... Oh, I can't even think about it. And she, like, grabs a pack of cigarettes and a lighter off the kitchen counter and
Oh,
goes out onto the... She, like, no words to you. She literally gives you your cups, grabs her cigarettes, and then opens up the double glass doors and steps onto her porch, which is just, again, a rainforest with a brick pathway.
he had a list in his house.
You, like, follow her out, or you just screaming from the kitchen?
Talking to her, maybe in the next room over.
Okay.
2 of the names have already been scratched off. 2 names that you probably would know. I'm going to say both of those names. I can't remember.
It was Madeline Wilson and Ened Prashesh.
The Portland Police Department has not been able to contact with either 2 of those individuals.
Okay.
Have you had any contact with either of those 2 recently?
I mean, they are part of the potheads.
When was the last time you spoke to them?
Well, we meet every 2 weeks. So it's probably been about a week since I've talked to anybody.
Bottom line is we need to we need him before he causes any more. Well, before he does anything else regrettable.
Okay. I mean, I understand what you're talking about, but like, I really can't. As insane as he is, I really can't see Rickard hurting anyone.
I've read his journal entries. I read about what he did, how he did it, and what he was feeling as he was doing it. Believe me when I say this. He did it. He is very dangerous. We came here out of concern for you and your group. I'm thinking, though, is there any way maybe we could have you call him, set up a place to meet, and of course you won't be there. In fact, I'd like to say that you and your pothead group took...
Well, she gave you his phone number.
Maybe go out of town for a little bit.
I can't just pick up everyone and make them all leave town. They all have lives.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, either way, maybe you might be able to convince them to go to see family or something. Even if you don't do something together, just have them disappear, a friend, family, random relative that no one would ever think of visiting. We don't want any more tragedy. That's it.
At the very least, it could be helpful if you just used your phone tree to remind everybody to lock their doors.
And warn them about Mueller.
She's gonna walk back inside and pick up her phone and start rotary dialing it. How much pain does that cause you? Like,
The spiders within the phone are weeping.
the spiders within this phone are like, "Hey, we still have a job." But yeah, she uses a rotary phone and she starts calling.
If there's anyone you are not able to reach, let us know.
You hear her greet somebody named Sissy, and she starts talking, and it's an excited conversation, probably giving too much information than she should be.
No, that's fine. We're trying to push a point. Get the fuck out of town.
Yeah. At this point, can I get a wits and awareness from everybody? That's all we're doing tonight. Just everybody rolls wits and awareness once every half hour.
4 successes.
Still getting just 2 successes.
2 successes. What was yours, Phil? 2? Okay. All of you are pretty much going to notice that Hannah's not in the room. 4 successes? Mm-hmm. Dominic will catch out of the corner of his eye as you're looking around wondering where your 4th member is. Mm-hmm. What looks like a very large dog in the backyard in some trees, like sniffing around.
Big ass dog.
There's a wolf in the backyard. Is that bad?
Okay, I'm
Does
I'm just wondering. Is that Lupus? Is this Ispo? That's what I'm freaking wondering.
No, she's Lupus. She's
Okay.
Lupus.
She had to go to the bathroom.
Bruh.
She will be noticed by you two fairly quickly as you notice her smelling
Please don't say
around.
she's frenzied.
No. Hannah doesn't lose herself in the backyard. She doesn't lose herself to the wolf, but she does bound into the house in full Lupus, and she does not look like a dog. She is a full-on wolf in this house. At which point, Birgit is going to give the most cartoony royal woman scream. Drop the phone, which will crash to the ground and bounce a couple of times. Actually, let's just see if I'm nice or if she's lucky or not. Okay, no, it doesn't break. The cord catches it and it bounces for a second, like a bungee jumper off a bridge. It's fine. The wolf that you can assume is Hannah bounds into the kitchen past Birgit and starts frantically scratching at a door.
I'm gonna go get the door.
So you just open the door.
Throw it open. I'm following her out.
Okay. Well, it's an inside door. Mm-hmm. It's not an outside door.
Okay.
When you open the door, it's dark, and all you can see is a wooden staircase heading down. It's our basement. And I'm going to go ahead and say to all of you, specifically you, there's a pungent compost smell. You can also mix that with a smell of highly unwashed body odor coming from the basement. And I'm going to check on
I'm saying
our dear Birgit. Birgit does not handle it well. She dropped the phone and she ran. You guys probably hear the front door open and not close, just open rough. And then she's just screaming down the road. And Hannah's just sitting there, her hair on end and growling.
We're in a dark basement.
Are you went down?
Yeah.
Okay.
Clicking.
There's a small amount of light in here from the windows. Like there are two little, there's like one of those little just above the surface.
I brought a spider.
Windows.
It's got a light.
Yeah. And you've got your flashlight from your phone.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn on the flashlight from my phone and I'm gonna draw a pistol.
Actual flashlight.
You got wits and awareness from the three of you. Just gotta check.
Can you get anything else?
4 successes.
4 successes. You'll notice it.
Okay, 3 successes.
You'll notice it. Like right at the bottom of the stairs, and then also right at the top of the stairs is a pull chain for a light.
Click.
Nah, I saw that video. Guy got an iron right to the face. I'm not doing it.
Okay, this isn't Home Alone. So yeah, you click it.
Well, it is now. She freaking left.
It's not your Home Alone. So yeah, the lights come on, and it's a sickly yellow. It's those long-lasting LED low energy light bulbs that barely give anything. Just straight down. And at the bottom of the stairs,
Soft white CFL.
you see Mueller, but he doesn't look quite right. And if you guys want details, you can go ahead and roll it again.
Hey!
The one thing we're going to do today, apparently.
Our favorite check.
4 successes again.
1,
Keeping
2,
that.
3, 4, 5, 6 successes.
Okay.
4, 5, 6 successes. Brutal critical, or whatever the hell that's called.
Okay.
I got a red.
You're
tab.
observing this and getting angry about it.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and say gain a rage.
Yay!
I'm just going to tell you to go ahead and
Okay.
gain a rage. Just because this is awareness. He was in the house the whole time. Son of a bitch. He doesn't look quite right. He looks bulgy in weird places. He looks like he has maybe veins popping under his skin, all over his face. It just looks off. They kind of look like they're moving a little bit. 6 successes, however. Joseph, I'm sorry, you get to see all the horrible things.
Because of your thing.
It seems like it.
The veins that you can see.
Oh yeah, I'm seeing this in the Umbra too. How many
it
rays
doesn't
are gathered
matter.
around him?
They've run.
Ugh.
But the veins that you can see, there's actually something brown and thin sticking out of his eye from where the vein is coming out. It kind of looks like a twig. And at one point, you can actually see a small bug crawl out and down and into his mouth, and he just crunches down on it. And he's just standing there at the bottom of the stairs with an axe.
I taser him.
Okay. So you go to shoot him with the taser. That's going to be dexterity plus firearms.
I have neither.
I hate the fact that tasers are guns and stun guns are not. I hate that. That makes me angry. That makes me very angry.
I got
success.
one.
You got 1 success. I'm going to go ahead and say that you got that out and you shot, but it's not long enough to get down the stairs.
Ah!
So it just kind of misses completely. Just kind of hits the step.
Taser!
It gets to like the
Taser,
third
man!
to the last step.
He's
and
got a gun!
Just doesn't.
He's got another gun!
And he's going to start menacingly walking up the stairs at you. Just, you stupid sacks of shit! Like,